They
You're
never
so
blockaded
stupid,
people
man.
and let people starve. They never did
Oh,
that. Stop
no.
lying. Listen. There was always aid coming into Syria, and then not only that, people. My God, Syrian refugees are coming to Lebanon. And like it's not like what Hezbollah was hunting them, those Syrian refugees down in Lebanon and killing those people.
Was there really? So there was aid getting into Syria.
Yes.
Was there aid getting into every besieged area that was surrounded by the army and by Hezbollah? Wait. Who's this first? Hang on. Hello, Killer Manjaro.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, LonerBox. Remember me?
No.
All right, never mind then. All right. So, what do you think about the Israelis that came out?
I remember who this is.
And said that they were ordered to shoot at civilians by the aid place.
What, by Yehuda Vash? Is that right? The guy, the settler dude?
No. I'm not talking about you. I don't know basically who ordered them, but no, I'm talking about like in Gaza. I'm talking about in Gaza. By
this
the
was
aid
at Gaza.
place. Okay, well, okay, fine. Like, the military commander told them that to shoot. Like, so the soldiers are saying that they were given orders to shoot at civilians. So, what's your take on that, my guy?
I think that's pretty bad. If the article is, I haven't read this particular one, but if it's as you're describing it, then that sounds like him. He did the same thing in Netzarim, where he was telling people to use live rounds to police the corridor, even in cases where warning shots could have sufficed.
So that is kind of condemnable of the IDF. Right? So you condemn the IDF for that reason.
The big problem with the IDF there is that they still haven't fired this guy. If it is still him, the fact that he's still, yeah, it is him. It's the same guy from Netzarim.
Yeah. So my point is this, though. So you still haven't condemned IDF, even though they've been known to sniper at kids. Like you said,
I mean, I can condemn these actions. Like, why do you think I don't condemn this? What?
No, because listen, because you were giving out excuses like last time. Where
what excuse have I made for this particular guy for this instance? This guy's a big deal. He's like a division commander.
You're treating like it's an individual incident, though. But this shows
it's not an individual incident. It's a division commander. He's in charge of like 10,000 people or something. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So this shows that the IDF is, if you don't want to use genocidal, is the bad guy in this situation. That the IDF is habitually committing war crimes. It's not just one bad apple or two bad apples or three bad apples. It's not just like last time we were talking about because what do you call it? The children and people are really fast moving subjects. That's why that sniper rifles missed those Hamas targets, and then hits a bullseye in the children's head.
Did you just put like every fucking hit piece against me into a random word generator and scramble it around? What sentence was that? Jesus Christ! One thing at a time. So you're telling me that because this division commander has ordered his soldiers to use live fire on civilians at the aid stations, that is what makes the IDF, quote, the bad guy. That's like what makes Israel the bad guy. Can you tell me a single military group in this entire region that hasn't had leaders who have ordered the killing of civilians?
Listen, my guy, it's not about what you call when you get charged for war crime or when you're in court, you don't say, okay, look at this guy. I'm not as bad as that guy. Can you tell me another?
But you said that. But you said it's the killing of civilians that makes them the bad guy, which implies that other armed forces in the region who are involved in this conflict are not the bad guy. Do you think Hezbollah are the bad guy because they've targeted civilians?
I haven't seen like in this kind of situation. I haven't seen
you haven't seen Hezbollah targeting civilians.
Not in this kind of situation, no.
What, at aid stations? I suppose that's true because Hezbollah never gave aid, did they? They didn't give aid when they were besieging Syrian towns. They blockaded the entire. They blockaded the entire town and didn't let any aid in. That's what Hezbollah did. They said surrender or starve.
No, they didn't do that. They never
so
blockaded
stupid,
people and let people starve. They never did that.
No.
Stop lying. Listen. There was always aid coming into Syria, and then not only that, people. My God, Syrian refugees are coming to Lebanon. Like it's not like Hezbollah was hunting them, the Syrian refugees down in Lebanon, and killing those people.
Was there really? So there was aid getting into Syria.
Yes.
Was there aid getting into every besieged area that was surrounded by the army and by Hezbollah?
Listen, was it true that Syrian refugees came to Lebanon? Yes or no?
Yeah, they did, but that's not mutually exclusive with Hezbollah blocking aid from besieged territories.
I never seen that before.
That's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you. Like, you said that this is what makes the Israel the bad guys, implying that there are good guys in this conflict. I'm just curious if killing civilians and even having people ordering the killing of civilians makes you the bad guy. Who's the good guy by comparison? Who's the good guy in this conflict? Which armed group is that? Which armed group doesn't do this? I'm not obfuscating. I'm just following your logic to its conclusion, and you haven't thought about this for more than 3 seconds, so you're fucked, basically. You spent so long preparing to, like, by listening to fucking hit pieces against me that you didn't think for 1 second. Hello, you hear me? Hello?
Damn it.
Why are you whispering? Fuck. Is he having a wank? Oh no.
Yeah, you were saying, killer LonerBox, like my internet just fell apart.
Do you hear? I'm sorry. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm doing is not obfuscating. What I'm doing is I'm listening to you, and you said because this division commander is overseeing the targeting of civilians and even ordering it with live fire, that means that Israel are the bad guys. And that by implication, I just think that means that, okay, clearly you think either someone is the good guy or just that you think having targeting of civilians makes you the bad guy. So then I would think, well, would you apply the same standard of targeting civilians to Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis or the Axis? Well, probably not. It's not my fault, okay, that you had all the time in the world to prepare for this conversation and your first argument fell on its face because I tried to apply it consistently across the region.
I just came in here because I saw you, and then I was looking, I was on X, but I was like, nobody talked on X. So I just came over here to talk to you. That's about it. And I just relaxed. I wasn't preparing for this. And I just wanted to ask you that question.
Well, maybe you should have prepared then, because you should think about that. Because if you're saying, well, they target civilians, therefore they're the bad guy. Well, it's like, okay, but who's the good guy then? Because you can't find a good guy in the region that doesn't target civilians as military forces.
Listen, if I'm pointing out something, okay, if I'm pointing out somebody did wrong, don't obfuscate and say, oh, listen, what about the Houthis, man? What about the Hezbollah, man? What about the Iranians?
Trying to apply a consistent standard is not whatabouting. I've given my condemnation of the IDF. I'm just wondering why you can't do it for the same standard to other forces in the region. And I know why. It's because you support them, right? You support Hezbollah. You support the Houthis. You support Hamas. Do you or not?
Listen, if we can have a different conversation about Hezbollah, and you can condemn them, and you can bring up your evidence of their crimes. And then I'll check it out, yeah. But when I'm talking about the IDF, don't obfuscate and go over there, man. That's how we're having a good fit.
It's not obfuscating. It's not obfuscating to try and apply your standards evenly. That's just not what that is. I don't know why you think that's obfuscating.
There's many nuances, right, between armed forces and fighting forces and resistance forces, and then you have to break it down, right? So, but this is not a comparison battle.
Does being a resistance force mean that you have more leeway to target civilians?
No, I never said that. When did I ever said that?
That's why I'm asking you. Okay, so yeah, nothing gives you. Yeah, so did Hamas target civilians on October 7th or no?
Am I again obfuscating, man?
It's a simple question.
Yes, probably so. Probably so.
Probably.
So,
no,
yes.
They 100%. I don't know why you said probably.
Okay, well, okay, they did so. Yes, they did so.
Okay, but does that make them the bad guys in their world?
No, but this is not what do you call it? They were not ordered, basically to shoot every fucking civilian they see. Like there's not.
Are they just a really poorly disciplined army then? Why is this? Why is it in every location they did just fucking shoot anyone they could?
Loner. When it came out that I think it was like 70-something% was military that got killed.
No, that's not true. It was less than half.
That is
actually.
True.
No. By whose numbers? Where'd you get that from?
Kyle Kulinski, and I think he got it from, I forgot where he got it from, but yeah, it's Kyle Kulinski.
Well, okay, so Kyle Kulinski's not a source, he's a pundit. Kyle Kulinski has also said that there's no Hamas militants in the West Bank, so I don't know why you would ever take him as a valuable source on this question.
Now, listen, he had a good, I forgot what the source needed, but yeah, it was a good source, though. So,
that's okay. Do you think I'm supposed to take that seriously?
Well, do you think I'm supposed to take you seriously, man? Hanging out with Elon Levy, and then with Destiny that gave what do you call it?
And also with Mustafa Barghouti, and also with people in the West Bank who are pro Hamas, and also with village elder in Hebron. What? And
my guy, you can hang out with
that's
Destiny,
called a journalistic tour.
Tips. LonerBox, he gave tips on how to make.
I'm sorry, wait, hang on. I'm just. Where the fuck? Oh, sorry. I thought Destiny was like standing behind me, and I have to be accountable for something that he said in an event where I wasn't even there. What?
Well, I mean, maybe you were behind the cameras, man, while he was giving those speeches.
I wasn't. I was not at that event. I left that event early because I was with other people. But in any case, those aren't my words. So.
Exactly. But even he, hold up, even your boy Destiny, yeah, even he knew that.
Can you just confirm you've already?
He said, don't film it, my guy. Don't film it, my guy. That's what he said. Even he what do you call it? Going to people's houses, wearing their fucking lingerie, which is I don't know what the fuck the problem is actually. Going to women's what do you call it? To a woman's lingerie and then wearing their fucking lingerie. Well, don't you find that sick, LonerBox? That why would they do that actually? Because you met some IDF people over there. Did you ask them why they like wearing women's underwear, lingerie, and stuff like that?
I don't know what your question is.
Well,
is it bad to wear women's lingerie?
Well, I'm asking you, since you went to Israel,
as a military occupation, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty disgusting. Yeah, what? What?
Okay, thank you.
I know, eh?
And I'm pretty
sure. Do you see how when you ask me a question about atrocities, I can just say yes or no? You're the one who has to squirm like a little fucking fanny who's terrified of his own fucking shadow. By the way, you're completely wrong, by the way. It was like 800 of the people killed on October 7th were civilians, about 300 odd were soldiers. So you're just completely wrong.
Where do you get that from? An Israeli source? Yeah, LonerBox.
No, this is basically like every source says the same thing on this. I don't know why you think otherwise.
I don't know. I have to check it out, back up. From one of the ones I checked, it was 70-something% militaries. And it shows actually because they captured a lot of military personnel, you know?
We're not talking about who they captured. This is from Reuters, by the way.
Reuters. It's captured, man. It's captured by the Yehudis, man.
Wait, so what media is not captured by the Yehudis?
Well, there's quite a few. There's I have to look them up, but we have to see them.
Okay.
Anyway, as a Lebanese,
what the fuck does that mean?
As a Lebanese man, how do you feel that Beirut has been, even after the ceasefire, Hezbollah has held on the ceasefire. They haven't attacked at all, but it seems like even that Israel has been breaking them habitually, and they haven't even fully done what the ceasefire asked them to do, which is go back to Litani Liver. Go back down south where they came from. So what's your point? To the Sheba Valley, to the Sheba farm, sorry. So what's your view on that one? As a Lebanese guy with families there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Israel should be getting off those 5 hilltops just at the border that they're currently on, and I don't think they should be hitting Beirut. It's not a violation of the ceasefire for them to hit south of Litani, though. I don't know if you read the ceasefire. You probably didn't.
Well, if they said if there was some military actions going there, but there was no. Who can prove that? Actually, there's nobody can prove that. Actually, didn't Hezbollah actually leave the south? So.
Yeah, that's why the strikes in the south are to do with Hezbollah moving things down south. Yes.
But how can you trust it though? Because even
can you trust the Lebanese government? Because the Lebanese government is doing operations in the south as well. Are they just attacking random Shiites and pretending that they're Hezbollah, or are they in on it too? Are they captured by the? You probably do think he is captured by the Yehudi, right? Is he?
No, the government's not doing anything. They're just basically doing what the ceasefire asked them to do. They're not attacking anybody.
Wait, who? So, Hezbollah?
No, I'm talking the Lebanese government. I'm not talking.
Well, the Lebanese government is also doing operations south of the Litani. Who are they
No, they're
operating
doing the
against?
ceasefire. They're not on war with the Hezbollah. What are you talking about, LonerBox? They're not doing
I didn't
operation.
say they're
Operation
at
means they're
war
fighting
with
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah. They're doing, what are they doing there?
They're
What are they
making
doing
sure
that,
the ceasefire holds. They're making sure that the
how?
ceasefire
How?
holds by being a buffer zone over there and making sure that Hezbollah doesn't come in.
So they're not, okay, what do they, so they make sure Hezbollah doesn't come in?
Yeah, by putting their forces in there. So basically, they're just making sure that
Is that all
the
they do?
ceasefire holds.
So they're just standing there and looking around and being like,
Like
don't
the
you come
UN,
in
like
here?
the US, like the UN peacekeepers. Yeah.
Well, it's not like
That's
the
their
UN
job now.
peacekeepers, because the UN peacekeepers were there and so were Hezbollah. So that's not a good comparison. That's okay. Details. Do you
But
think
they're not doing operations either. Operation means they're fighting Hezbollah. That's what it means. Operations.
well, you don't have
They're
to
doing military operations.
fight them to do an operation. You can catch them and tell them to leave, which it seems to be what the Lebanese army has been doing. That's why they're getting praise from Israel and from the Americans. That's why they said, yeah, they
But
think the army's doing a good job.
They're still getting bombed though. But yeah, you're doing a good
as
job.
per
but
the
you're still getting
ceasefire.
bombed,
The
though.
ceasefire, yeah, the ceasefire said, they're not bombing the government, they're bombing Hezbollah.
They're bombing Beirut, my guy. That's where like
who's in Beirut?
you know,
Where? Which part of Beirut?
I don't know. Look, it could be Dahia.
It could be. Why did you think it could be Dahia? Why could be? Why was that your first answer? Because that's where Hezbollah is. Okay, I see. Because that's the Hezbollah-controlled area. Yeah. By the way, I don't support the strikes in Beirut, because in the ceasefire, it's strictly about the Litani. It's not about Beirut. So that actually is a violation, if you were sharp enough to catch that one. But that would also mean admitting that by implication, some of these strikes are not violations, or they're violations in the sense that they're violating in response to a violation.
Listen, Hezbollah hasn't done anything, hasn't fired a single rocket, hasn't done anything like that. So, I mean, what do you want them to do? I mean, and then these guys just keep flagrantly violating the ceasefire, keep shooting at people, not even leaving Lebanon, like the places they have invaded. So what the fuck do you want from me? Like, I mean, just like these guys, like, if anybody can look at this, like anybody fairly can say that Israelis are fucked up. And what they're doing is fucked up.
Sorry, first of all, Hezbollah have fired since the ceasefire. They have fired from the south. Second of all, who do you think, you're going to dismiss the source, but I mean, it's both on CNN and on NYT and on DW. So, and on Reuters.
My God, even when Iran was firing at Israel and clapping their cheeks.
So what do you think Israel's hitting in the south?
Lebanon, Hezbollah wasn't firing with them. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's because this is earlier. Yeah, Hezbollah did not want to get involved in action with Iran for good reasons. But that's also because the Lebanese army and Israel are making sure that they're in no good position to fight at all.
But I can see that your Lebanese people are having fun, though. They're, what do you call it? But I can see that Lebanese people are having fun, though. I've seen very, videos of them, playing jazz while the rockets were hitting Israel.
That's a lot of the, unfortunately, especially in the Shia communities, that's kind of like their thing. They like it when Israel gets hit, but they don't like it when they get hit.
Drinking at the bar, my boy. I don't think Shias are out there drinking at the bar and having fun. I don't think that the Hezbollah terrorists.
It wasn't just drinking at bars. Some of these videos, you think every single one of these videos was from a bar? Some of these were from restaurants. You don't think Shias go to restaurants?
No, but like the ones I see was at a bar, though. But I'm pretty sure the Shias are celebrating. But I'm just saying that I've been seeing the Christians are celebrating as well, though.
There are some Christians in the south, especially, who are pro-Hezbollah. Yeah.
So do you condemn your fellow Christians? What,
all of them? Do you think Christians in Lebanon? Do you think Christians in
But tell them that you have to be good Lebanese just like you.
Do you think Christian Lebanese people, in general, are pro or anti-Hezbollah?
It's not about pro or anti-Hezbollah.
I mean, most of them oppose Hezbollah. So
Israel, my God, this is about Israel. I could care less about Hezbollah, my God. Look, this is about Israel. Like the whole people, like it's not. Listen, my guy. Like like just because we're anti-Israelis and like the whole world right now is anti-Israel. It's not because we are pro Shia militia or we are pro Iranian mullahs.
No, but you are.
We are pro this or we are pro that.
I'm
not. Like no, it's not. No, I'm not. No, like listen, I'm not. I respect for their resistance, but that doesn't mean I'm pro Iranian mullahs or I'm pro Hezbollah or anything like that. No. That's our point of view.
You just like the only thing about them that really matters in terms of like international politics, right? The attacks on Israel. You just like that
No,
part,
like
the
my
part that they're
point of view,
known
no,
for.
like my point of view is I hate seeing the dead children. I hate seeing 2,000 children in military prison getting sexually assaulted. I hate seeing how we're getting pushed into war because of Israel and their fucking PTSD. I hate seeing all these anti-speech laws in USA and other places like that. That is why I am anti-Israeli, and that's the reason. That's why everybody's anti-Israeli, and that's why we're calling out Israel. Not
But why
because
do you
we're Shia, we're Shias.
why does bombing Israeli cities help with any of that?
It has nothing to do. Was I talking about the bombing Israeli cities? I'm talking about
You were
how
talking about people
celebrate.
celebrating the strikes. So why are those strikes which almost entirely hit civilians? I don't think like one soldier got hit like in one of those strikes from Iran. So
no, they hit the Mossad headquarters, something like that. Yeah, but anyway.
Well, the
but my point
Kyria
is this.
might have got hit. I don't even know if that's completely confirmed. But as far as personnel, well, yeah, they mostly killed civilians. Yeah, like almost all of them, bar one, I think.
Yeah, but no, my point is my point is you is that because
So I'm just asking why
like,
dropping fucking bombs on Israeli civilians is supposed to help anything.
Listen, I brought up that thing because I was trying to point out to you that even your Lebanese brethren, your Christian Lebanese brethren.
Yeah, I know you want. I know you're obsessed with the fucking genetic arguments or some reason because you think that it's in my DNA as a Lebanese person, or it should be to celebrate bombs dropping on Israeli civilians. But no, generally, when bombs are getting dropped on civilians, I don't celebrate. I don't even jump and fucking cheer when Israel targets Hamas because I know that it's not just Hamas who get hurt. I know that civilians get hurt. I know it's mostly civilians who get hurt. I don't know, but so why would I fucking jump with glee over that shit?
I've seen you giggle before. I've seen you giggle before when you talk about Israeli and their prowessness. I've seen you giggle before.
Giggle at what? Like I'll giggle at people making bad arguments, or I'll giggle at it doesn't mean I'm celebrating.
I don't know, my guy.
No, anyway, yeah, listen, you've seen me like jumping and cheering at like strikes that kill civilians. I don't do that. You do that. I don't know why people do that. That's kind of fucked up. I don't like it when civilians die.
But you see the videos of me doing that as well. Like, yeah, Loner, I haven't done that either. I haven't done that
you're saying
either.
But you're saying that I should feel some kind of affinity for Lebanese people when they do it. But no, I don't really think it's a good thing to celebrate people dropping bombs on civilians.
Got you.
Even if it's militarily justified, even if there's like a collateral argument, I don't even think you just celebrate that shit. Jesus Christ. It's like civilians are
yeah, I got you. But the Israelis were celebrating. They were chanting death to Arabs. They were saying there are no more schools in Gaza because there are no more children.
Yeah, when have I defended those people? I don't like those people.
Well, listen, my point is this, all right. But you haven't condemned them either. But so my point is this as well. Like, so the Arabs and your fellow Lebanese Christians as well are returning just a favor, and I think you are a collaborator. And that is why you're not, you're just on the Israeli side.
I don't know why bombing civilians in Israel is supposed to help anyone in Lebanon. If it makes some people happy, that's good for them. I think that's kind of weird to celebrate when bombs are falling on civilians, but each to their own. I don't really follow this principle of like, oh, some people who share the same ethnicity as me and are from the same national group as me have done a thing on Twitter, therefore I should do it too. That's kind of retarded, isn't it?
I don't know what you're looking at, but it's a tribal war. Like, I mean, what do you want to look at? It's an ethno-religious war.
Yeah, and I think viewing it as a tribal war is sorry. Like, okay, well, see now, now who's being careless about Lebanese people? Yeah, it's a tribal war. Yeah, you're saying to someone whose family had to fucking flee en masse, like all of them, one after the other. My fucking granddad had to gather every fucking bit of cash he could to get my relatives out of that country because that country was ripped to fucking shreds by an ethno-religious fucking sectarian war. Yeah, tribal wars are fucking retarded. They destroy countries. Thank you for telling a Lebanese person about tribal wars. I think tribal wars are a bad thing. I don't think they should happen.
Then you
should. You're being very insensitive to the Lebanese, by the way. That's
Then you should all condemn the Jewish state that is racist and apartheidist.
I condemn actions of Israel that harm the region, but that doesn't mean I want the state to get like disappeared or to stop existing.
But like, so
because it seems to be my understanding. Seems to be my understanding.
You support apartheid.
Seems to be my understanding. What do you mean apartheid?
You support apartheid then. As currently as it is, Israel is an apartheid state, is a supremacist state, is an ethno-supremacist state. So that's what you support.
You think people in this region
Yes
are
or no?
fighting with Israel because they care about ethno-supremacy?
LonerBox, please. LonerBox, answer the question. Is Israel as it is today ethno-supremacist apartheid state?
Nope.
Yes or no?
No, it's not.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Because
why not?
Because they don't do like most of the things that the apartheid state of South Africa did within their own borders, because they have 20% of their population are Palestinians, and they have citizenship, and they can vote, and they can get into court positions, and they can get into they can get into the cabinet if they want.
No, hold up. You are wrong to begin with, because you're just putting Israel at as its border as it is. But no, it controls the West Bank. It has military occupation over there. It treats the people like dogs over there.
Wait, don't play loose. Wait, do you think if they pulled out the West Bank and Gaza?
That is true. Listen,
so you
it's
think,
not just Israel. It's not just international recognized border of Israel. You have to recognize the occupations as well.
Well, there is no internationally recognized border of Israel. It's an armistice line.
Yes, there is. The 1948 recognized border, or the 1967 one. Just like that's the recognized
48
border.
or 67. Do you see how that it's an armistic line from 49? Actually, that's okay though. You don't understand your terms. You just use them because you think it gives you legitimacy. But that's okay.
Gave both the Palestinians land and stuff, but
but as far as the border goes, you don't buy this argument though. If I want to describe the West Bank as apartheid-esque conditions, yeah, I would say that. Of course it is, but you don't believe that, because if Israel pulled out of the West Bank and Gaza, would Israel stop being apartheid to you?
And then they fixed what you call their racist laws as well, like that. You can't marry this, and if you have sex with a Jewish woman, that means you are raping her, and you like Muslims cannot own this land, and blah blah blah. If they fix that too, then yeah, that's true.
Is there any country in that region that wouldn't cross that threshold of being an apartheid state to you?
No other country in that region has 2,000 kids in military prison and sexually assaulted.
That's not to do.
Other country.
That's not to do with. Yeah, I know. Obviously, like Syria had more, right? Under Assad, Syria had more. But again, that's not. So having people at administrative detention is not. That's not what we're talking about with apartheid and ethno-supremacy. Do you think Lebanon, where you have to be a Maronite to be the president, you have to be a Sunni to be the prime minister, you have to be a Shia to be the speaker of the parliament, is that not? Why is that not apartheid to you? Why is that not ethno-supremacy?
Hold up, because they're sharing the power. That's what do you mean?
Really? Wait, the Speaker of the House has the same. The Speaker of the House has the same powers as Prime Minister and President?
No, but they're trying to share.
Oh, so they're not sharing power, are they? The power is imbalanced in favor of some and against others.
Okay, listen. I'm not saying every state is perfect, but every state has its racism problem.
But why don't you call again? Why don't you call that apartheid though? Why don't you call that ethno-supremacy?
Okay, because nobody's there's no military checkpointing Shias and Sunnis and Christians and telling them, listen, you go over here, and then kidnapping.
But you said
Shia and Sunni children and then taken them to military prison.
But you said if the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza ended, then you would still call Israel apartheid because of the laws. So I'm asking you, Lebanon has a lot of those laws. Why are they not apartheid to you?
Lebanon doesn't have any laws that prohibiting a Sunni or Shia or Christian from owning this land or that land, and all sorts of bullshit. Well, they don't have that.
Really, you think Shiites have the same ability to buy land anywhere in Lebanon that Christians do?
Regarding the buying of the land,
I think quite said. Well, I don't know what this guy is like. Me and LonerBox as it is right now.
I know, but you don't know anything about buying land. Neither does LonerBox in Israel.
Okay, good for you, my guy. Good for you. Good for you.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking about. Listen, even what's this guy's name? The lady. I forgot that blonde lady with crooked teeth and her Arab husband from Palestine, her Arab Israeli husband. Even he was not allowed to get basically on this move in with his girlfriend, who he can't marry legally, and move into the certain places because he's an Arab Israeli, even though he fought with the IDF, and I think he got injured fighting Hezbollah.
No, he can absolutely. Hold on, that's not true. He can absolutely marry her. He's Christian. He's Christian. He gets married through a priest. The problem is the religious beliefs of that priest. The priest will refuse their marriage because he's Christian, and they don't allow Christians to marry into Jews. It's not
No,
necessarily
but their marriage
indicated
would
with
not be their marriage would not be recognized by the law.
No, it
So,
would absolutely be. There's gay marriage recognized in Israel. They just have to get
no,
married
it's not.
outside.
Hold up,
No, they have to get
not.
married outside, and then it gets recognized in Israel
Yeah,
afterwards.
did you not know? Hang on. Did you not know that they do this in Lebanon as well? It's in Israel and Lebanon. It's basically still just like the millet system, the Ottoman millet system. They both do this. That's why in Cyprus, Israelis go to get married if they're like in a combination, if it's gay or if it's like a religious conversion. It's not allowed by the locals. But they'll go there, and like Lebanese people do it as well. There are Lebanese people who go to fucking Cyprus to get married and then come back to the country.
The religious shit is a little more complicated because
I'm pretty sure they would marry you off the LonerBox. I don't think they would recognize a Chinese as a female though.
See, why do you pretend? See, this is why I don't get it. Why do you pretend to care about like social equality when you're like anti-trans and shit? Like, what's wrong with you?
You're anti-trans, you're anti-gay, you're anti-minorities. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly, like LonerBox, you're anti-minorities, man. Anyway, listen.
No, you're anti-minorities. You told me to be quiet when I came to explain to something you don't understand. Neither does LonerBox know about it. Mainly because here's a fucking disclaimer: neither of you own land in Israel.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yes, that's true.
My family owns land. The fucking problem with the land issue here in Israel is the state owns most of the land. It just leases it out to people, so they always own the land. There is Arabs that owned land prior to the state that still own that land, and if you own that land prior to the state, you can sell it to other people with no fucking restrictions. The problem is, since that is a limited resource, the price of land is consistently going up. Land in my town, in an Arab town in Israel, is more expensive than land in Dubai. That's how fucking limited it is. And the problem is there's social norms. Arabs are not going to sell land to Jews because there's barely any land for Arabs left anyway for them to own and build upon. They now have to move into Jewish areas because everyone builds a house on their plot of land and not a fucking 20-story complex enough to fit the growing population of those Arab towns. My town grew in population like fucking 20... I think it's like 26,000 in the last 60 years. 26,000 people in the last 60 years, which is a shit ton. And it wasn't all like, it pretty much was like 40 years. They increased 5 and then the rest is 20.
The main topic, the main topic was not land, but I got you. All right.
The main topic is discrimination, but you bring up things like land and marriage when you don't understand that. Yeah, discrimination. What do you think What do you think apartheid's built upon?
Okay, fine. So do you believe that Israel is an apartheid state? Yes or no?
I love how, like, after all of that fucking conversation, he has to go back to the stupid fucking purity test questions. Oh, God. It's so fucking cringe.
The West Bank is absolutely an apartheid. Yeah.
Thank you. You see, LonerBox, the guy from there just said it.
Hold on.
I mean, I said the exact same thing about the West Bank.
Yes, he literally said the exact same thing.
The contention is whether or not it would be that without the West Bank occupation.
LonerBox, you're trying to twist over that. And it's ethno-supremacist too, so don't forget about that too.
Oh yeah, don't forget about that. We care a lot about ethno-supremacy, in the Middle East. It's definitely not a thing that happens in any other country in that region. In any case,
let me ask you, what do you think is a Palestinian state going to be as well?
The Jews in Persia or Iran, are treated much better than the Palestinians are treated in Israel. So
yeah, that's why they're all leaving. Yeah.
No, they're leaving because of economic sanctions, because of the war with Israel, and all sorts of stuff. But
anything else? Why do you like religiously? Yeah, and then most of them left. You fucking retard. Yeah, why is it always that with every Middle Eastern country? Hey, here's a question. Say Iraq. What was the main reason for Jews leaving Iraq in the 50s?
Because of the bombing, because of the the bombings by the Mossad over there. Yes.
Yeah. Was it? Why the bombings the two bombings that happened after the window to leave it closed?
No, listen. No, really.
After the majority of them registered to leave.
No, the Mossad killed Jewish people on purpose in Iraq, to scare them and to make them leave.
How many people did they kill?
Let's not fucking bullshit.
You don't know the timeline?
I don't know, like 5 or 6, I don't remember. Something like that.
So 5 people get killed in a bombing over how long? A year. And that results in 125,000 people leaving the country.
LonerBox, don't make excuses for Mossad or subterfuges and false flag operations
I'm not making excuses. I'm demonstrating the fact that you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. So the window to leave Iraq opened in March 1950. And it was going to close the year later. So March 1950 to 51. When
was there
did this
pogroms
first
against the Iraqi Jews?
When
Was
did
there
this...
pogroms against the Iraqi Jews? Was there pogroms against the Iraqi Jews?
Yes, there were.
Yes.
No, there weren't.
The Farhud was a pogrom.
No, there weren't. At that time, no, there wasn't. At that time, no, there wasn't.
What do you mean? The Farhud killed 300 Jews.
At that time, really, like at that time, there was no.
Yes, that is what the biggest contributor to Jews leaving is the Farhud and the Iraqi government seizing assets of Jewish Iraqis. Like they froze assets.
He has no fucking idea. He probably thinks all 5 bombings were attributed to Mossad. Do you or no?
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yes.
According to who?
According to Mossad, and
Mossad never admitted to any of them. There's no confession from it, apart from the one guy who confessed under torture, but that was only to the last 3. Yeah, who said that all 5 bombings were Mossad? Even
Mossad barely admitted to the shit that they got caught doing, which is in Egypt.
Yeah, who said?
They did other stuff as well. But
wait. Who said that Mossad did all 5 bombings? Where are you getting that from? You just make that up.
Well, listen, if they did one, they did probably all 5. So, like, I'm just saying, like, that just
no, that's not what anyone said, though. That's not what anyone's claimed. Even the Iraqi government, I don't think, claimed that. They blamed the last 3 bombings on
Mossad. So I'm just checking out over here. Okay, the Farhud happened in 1941 because of the Anglo-Iraqi War and power vacuum and stuff like that. So exactly in World War I and World War II, like during World War II. Okay, so the Iraqi Jews left after the creation of State of Israel. Yes or no?
Yeah. Why couldn't they leave after the Farhud?
Because there was no State of Israel. The fuck you talking about, retard?
So you think they might have wanted to leave, but they couldn't, right?
Where were they? Yeah, they wanted it to USA. Why not? Yeah, like or something like Britain.
Yeah, probably would have been quite hard to go there during the war, right? Because those countries were blocking Jewish refugees from going there for the most part. So yeah, of course.
Every country at that time.
It's just interesting though that as soon as they opened it, because the government banned Jews from leaving the country during the 48 war, they opened a window for 1 year from 1950 to 51. As soon as they opened that window, 100-something thousand people, 90% of the population that's Jewish, leaves. And then
there was a lot of Jews already leaving, like illegally, like leaving Iraq right after the Farhud too. There's just no like concrete number on it, because they got spread out into other different countries rather than all going to the same country, which is Israel.
Oh my God! Yes, the poor Jews. Yes, I feel sorry for them too. The poor Iraqi Jews.
They were massacred. What?
I can tell you.
Compared to what happened,
hold on.
1,000 Jews died in that's compared to what happened in Nakba, right? Okay, so there's an ethnic conflict that happened in Iraq, and then
how many civilians died in the Nakba?
We have 377 Palestinians that they disappeared right now.
How many civilians died in the Nakba?
Wait. I'm just going to keep it 1v1, so I'll speak to you later. Okay. Okay. Let's just go back to these Iraqi bombings, just because I think it's like very clear that you just don't know what the fuck happened. So, do you want me to give you sources for this, or like, do you understand that the first 2 bombings were done by Iraqi Arabs, right? You understand that?
So they say.
Well, so who says? So who says?
So that's the people. So that's people in history say, but I still have my doubts still.
Why? Why do you have your doubts?
Because the Mossad is sneaky, and they're always trying to create fitna, and try to create divisions, like the Odedinon plan. Try to entice Jews to come over, and to brainwash them, saying that as Jews, we have to be afraid. Everybody's going to come after us. Everybody's going to kill us. Just like, we have to stick together. The Muslims are our enemy, Arabs are our enemy. Even though for thousands of years, hold up, let me finish, LonerBox. For thousands of years, Jews have lived there, peacefully for the most part. And even when the Spanish conquistadores, Reconquista took over Spain, 400,000 Jews were accepted in by the Ottoman Empire. So let's not forget how the Muslims saved the Jews from the Spanish Inquisition. Yes or no, LonerBox?
Yeah, and then they also what happened afterwards? And then they made them what? Second-class citizens,
like
right?
the Ottomans ate the. Huh? What?
And then they became second-class citizens. Yeah. We're not talking about
At
the
least it's
Ottomans,
better than
though. We're
getting boiled
talking
in
about
water.
we're
Listen,
talking about we're talking about modern
it's
nationalism. You fucking idiot. We're talking about modern nationalism, not about the Ottomans. We're talking about modern nationalism. So under modern nationalism and the rise of modern nationalism, Jews in Iraq were persecuted straight from independence.
No, but my point is this, though. Listen,
Iraq gets independence in 1934.
My guy,
and then they banned.
LonerBox.
Speaking of Hebrew, do you deny that? Do you deny that? Like 2 years after Iraqi independence, not Ottomans, not British, under Iraqi independence, they banned people for speaking and teaching Hebrew. They fired Jews from government positions. They restricted their access to education. They made it so that you, if you were accused of Zionist activity by two other Muslims, you could go to jail or fined. And do you know what they counted as Zionist activity? One example could be having a Bible that had a biblical map of the Holy Land.
My guy, you just like basically just skirted over
what
I said. Like, you know, people are getting killed in Spain and they're being forced to.
I'm not talking about Spain. I'm asking you about Iraq in the 20th century. I'm not asking you about.
Don't skirt over that. Don't skirt over that. Don't skirt.
I'm not skirting over it. I'm acknowledging it. Why are you the one? How is it? Am I skirting your skirt? What the fuck are you doing? I asked you about Iraq. You're the one trying to skirt that and talk about the Ottomans. I'm just trying to bring you back to the thing that we spoke about in the first place. Don't try to accuse me of dodging your attempt to dodge. What the fuck are you talking about? You fucking moron.
No, it's not really. My bigger narrative is, listen.
Your bigger narrative is that there was a period where the Muslim world was less violent than the Christian world. That was not becoming the case, though, in the 20th century, where just because it wasn't as bad as Europe does not mean that it wasn't still bad. Do you disagree with that? Just because in the 30s you're safer in Iraq than you were in Poland, that does not mean that Iraq was good. Do you understand that?
Yes, I got you.
But yes. So how would you describe the way that Jews were treated in Iraq in the 30s and 40s?
Can I finish, my guy? Listen, my point is this, though. Listen, people, of course, there's always racial and ethnic problems, right? That does not mean, for example, there's racial and ethnic problems in Lebanon. Yeah, even though for thousands of years Christians and Muslims have lived there.
Who's to blame for those ethnic and racial problems in Iraq in the 30s and 40s and 50s then? Do you see how, like, when Israel does something, they're a fascist apartheid ethno-state, but when it's something with Arabs persecuting Jews, it's, oh, well, you know, there are ethnic problems that happen everywhere. Do you see how, like, you can't be consistent? You can't do it. You can't acknowledge even the most obvious case. You're not being consistent. What was the main reason that Jews left Iraq in the 50s? It wasn't bombings by Mossad. It was not bombings by Mossad. Even if you believe that the three that Avi Shlaim says were Mossad, even if you believe that, that cannot have been the reason, because almost all of them had already registered to leave before those three bombings happened. So why was it? Why did they leave Iraq? What's the main reason?
We have, my guy, listen, we have race riots here in America for many times as well. That does not mean like every Mexican needs his own fucking land, or
would you say America was? Do we say America is a white supremacist country?
We have racial tensions in America as well. We have racial tensions. We had you had racial tensions that people were stopping people on the streets in the UK, asking them if they're white, burning immigrant centers and everything like that. But that does
not say America is a racist country?
That does not justify ethno supremacist Pakistani state in UK, man. So shut the fuck up with that bullshit. That does not like you're saying stupid shit.
Would you say America's a racist country?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say Iraq was a racist country when the Jews were fleeing?
Yeah, probably. I wasn't there. Yeah.
Did you see how? Why all these qualifiers? Why is it so easy to say for America, but for fucking Iraq in the fucking 30s, 40s, 50s, when there are pogroms,
I wasn't there.
Are you in America?
Yeah, I'm in America. Not at the moment, but yeah, I'm an American though. Yeah.
Can you only call a country racist if you've been there? Have you ever been to Israel?
I'm not a historian of Iraq. I'm not a historical person of Iraq. I haven't read the history of Iraq.
Well, then why were you so confident in saying that it was the Mossad bombings? If you're not a historian.
No, I know for thousands of years, listen, Muslims and Jews lived peacefully together. Even like till today, like the Samaritans have lived in Palestine before the Jews came, and like they were living peacefully as well.
They lived peacefully as second-class citizens.
Hold up. Yeah, in Yemen as well. In Yemen as well, and same as well. What do you call it? In Iran, same as in many places as well. Like there's been Jews as well. Even today as well, there's still Jews living in Morocco, and even one of the what do you call it? The advisors of the Moroccan king is a Jew. So my point is this: like for thousands of years, these people have lived together. So the people that came in here and fucked all that up is the Zionism and that mentality. Listen, that the PTSD mentality of that came from Europe and also the colonialism mindset is also that came from Europe, and that's the problem. That is a very big problem. So that's my point.
So you think so again? So you consider a time when Jews were second-class citizens? That's okay. That wasn't apartheid, by the way, to you, right? Ottoman rule, that's not apartheid, where Jews had to live in fucking ghettos. And in some places, they had to like take their shoes off if they walked past the mosque. Like the fact that if you were a Jew, all it took was the confession of two Muslims, the testimony of two Muslims to get you convicted of any fucking crime. And in some cases, you couldn't even prosecute a Muslim who committed crimes against you. That's all peaceful to you. But then the Zionists come over in 1880 and then the problem started, yeah? Yeah, you just say you're okay with that then. You're okay with Jews living as dhimmis and minorities. As long as they're a tiny, shitty, useless fucking minority, you're okay with that, right?
There's no such thing as an equal society anywhere in the fucking world that is like super equal. But at the end of the day, though,
now we're excusing apartheid. Okay. You see how do you see how apartheid's okay when you do it, right?
What Palestinians are going through today. None of what the Ottoman Empire did compared to what the Palestinians are going through today. So
really,
bullshit, man.
none of what the Ottoman you realize the Ottoman Empire committed like fucking 5 genocides. I don't know what the fuck are you talking about. Nothing they did. The Armenian genocide.
I'm talking about to the Jews and the Christians. I'm talking about to the Jews and Christians in their midst. Not in war times. So get the fuck out of here. So
the famine in Lebanon, where 100,000 Maronites starved. How many Maronites starved to death because of the food requisitions in World War One? Oh, you don't know.
World War I, exactly.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
We're talking about peaceful times. We're talking about peaceful times and peaceful times.
So it's okay. It's okay to starve 100,000 people. If it's in wartime?
I'm not saying it's okay, my guy. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just saying, though, listen, people could have lived together. Your asshole friends.
But you just said that the Ottomans have never done anything comparable. The Ottomans committed genocides. What are you talking about? They fucked up the Greeks, the Armenians, they fucked up the Lebanese Christians with the food requisitions. What are you talking about? The Ottomans. You just admit, you think apartheid's less of an issue if fucking Muslims are doing it. That's it. That's your position.
No, that's not my fucking point, my guy. Listen.
It is. You don't care. That's why every time I ask you about an instance of it happening on that end, you're like, oh, I don't know about all that. I wasn't really there, maybe, probably.
Give me my defense of the Ottoman Empire. No, okay, give me my defense of the Ottoman Empire. No, okay. In defense of the Islamic empires, okay, in defense of the Islamic empires, they ruled vast swaths of land, vast swaths of many different people, right? And yes, of course, not everybody was treated equally. There has been no empire, no state where everything was copacetic or everybody's not even communism, not everything like that. There has never been a state like that. But at least, right? They did not kill all the Christians. They did not try to ethnically cleanse people in peaceful times, at least. And for the most part, so that's what my point is. So the Jews and Muslims live together. And and many of the scholars as well were Jewish, and so that's my fucking point. So that is my fucking point. So there is no problem for people to live to continue after after decolonization, for people to continue in a better way, not going to even much more fucking racist. The degenerate, so that's the fucking problem with the Zionists, or there was never a Jewish empire because they do not want to absorb other people and they don't want to govern other people, and they can't do that because they always see the people, because they see other people as others, and they want to squash them. But the Muslims have governed, or more they have governed Hindus before, they have governed Christians before, they have governed and they're still alive today. I'm not saying that was always good. I'm not saying Muslims didn't do any war crimes or brutality towards their
or genocides,
Muslims,
like
or
quite a few
Christians
of those as well. Yeah, quite a few genocides.
What genocide? Are you talking about the Armenian one? That's the only one I know. What's the other genocide?
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like I'm listening
yeah,
to.
okay, because there's no other one. Because there's
Well,
no
by
other
your
one.
standards, what they did to
There's
the
no
wait.
other
So,
one.
by your standards,
There's
what they
no
did to
other
the.
one.
So why was what they did to the Assyrians or the Greeks, or why was that not genocide to you?
The Assyrians didn't even exist when the Ottomans came or the Muslims came. The Assyrians were already gone, man. They were already absorbed by the Romans, and there was no Assyrians by the time the Muslim army came. And the Greeks as well, like they're there today. I
There
see
was
still
so
Greeks
wait,
alive.
there were no Assyrians in World War One. What?
What do you mean? Like they're like minute. So what are you talking about? Like the Assyrian.
Oh,
like,
so if they're a
like
small
Assyrian
group, it
Christians
doesn't
you're talking
matter.
about?
What are you talking about?
The Assyrian Christians, you're talking about Assyrian Christians, but like I mean, as Assyrian ethnicity itself, Assyrian, but like a Assyrian as a what do you call it, a certain Christian sect. But
Okay, so
Assyria,
if they're a
like
small enough
like
group, I guess we don't really give a fuck. Okay, Greeks as well. Was that not?
Greeks, like they're still alive. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about. The Greeks, they've been
So
occupied by
it's
the Turks
not
for a long
genocide
time,
if the
but they're
group is still
alive, though.
alive? What are you talking about? They're still Armenians. Doesn't mean it
They
wasn't a
tried to
genocide.
exterminate the Greeks. What are you talking about? Did they try to exterminate the Greeks? I was never aware that like when the Ottomans tried to exterminate the Greeks. What was the war of extermination against the Greeks?
It was more.
Exactly.
It was
There
closer
isn't
to
any.
it was
There
closer to a
isn't
war of
any.
extermination than what's happening with Palestinians. I can tell you that.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Really?
Listen, like, what the fuck you mean? Yes, no, it wasn't. They still had the what do you call it? That's why all the temples are still
How
standing
do you
up there. Like,
know? Wait,
that's
how
why
do you know? How do you know that it's not comparable to
because I
Greece? What
studied
happened?
Ottoman history. I
I
studied
can
Ottoman
tell.
history.
You've studied
I
Ottoman
studied
history in the
Ottoman
same way that like fucking Edwardian inbred fucking like human tadpoles and top hats learned about fucking the British Empire in India. Like
Listen,
that's
man,
what you sound
never
like.
been a
You
real
sound you
woman.
realize
Listen,
that you
man,
sound like
listen.
fucking you sound like Jacob Rees-Mogg talking about the British Empire. You understand that, right?
Listen, LonerBox, like you haven't even been with a real woman before, so I wouldn't be talking, man. Like so, once you grow up as
This is what you
a
sound
real
like.
man,
You
being
sound like
with a
this
real
guy.
woman,
You sound like this
it's a real
guy.
woman. Like, you can
What's a
talk like
real woman? You
sucking,
sound like this guy
sucking,
telling me about the British Empire. I don't know if you can see my
That's not like,
screen.
man. Like that's not a real woman. Get with a real Lebanese woman first, okay? Like that's why you're pathetic, man, because you haven't been with a real Lebanese woman.
Why are
That's why
you?
you're a collaborator.
I don't
That's
know
why,
about.
like, and the Israeli woman.
Why are you so
women
like
wouldn't touch you either.
objectifying about fucking like ethnic women? Like what?
The what do you call it? No, I'm just saying that even Lebanese women wouldn't touch you. That's why you're with a tranny. And not only that though, that the Israeli woman wouldn't touch you either. So like I mean that's what like I'm just saying. So you're a man
Why
that
are
hasn't
you
even been a
getting?
real woman before.
How much have
So
you
how
been
can
trying
be
to
a
learn
man?
about
So, you know,
my?
I understand how can you give people advice because you haven't been a real woman before. So
Why
how can
have you
call
been
yourself
trying
a
to learn
man
about
because you
my
haven't been
fucking
a
personal
real
life?
woman?
What the fuck? I feel like you've not done enough investigation into my personal life.
Hey, you're a boy, like a little box. You haven't been a real woman before. Like I mean, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Get with a real woman. Get some pussy. Yeah, get some pussy. That will grow some hair on your balls, and then maybe you can talk out to man to me, like mano a mano, man. Because like sucking cock. That doesn't mean you've been with a woman before, like
Okay.
Yeah. So stop being cocked, man. Stop being cocked. I know you're cocked by Destiny. I feel sorry for that. I know Destiny cocked you. I know Elon Levy also cocked you. And, but don't be cocked by the Israelis, man. Have some pride as a Christian Lebanese.
It would be so much more. These insults would be so much more effective if you knew anything about my life. Like every single thing you've just said about my personal life is false, by the way. You understand that? Like every single fact you just got completely wrong. But
yeah, no,
okay.
I got most of them right. That's why you're just saying that's wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I mean, if you think that, that's fine.
Saying,
like I don't really think about like where your fucking knob's been because it's not interesting to me. But
no, man. Listen, man. Like,
I'm just more curious about like what fucking windows you've been licking lately.
But this one, I'm trying to help you out though, because listen, most collaborators, man, they feel something. What do you call it? Most collaborators, most people that see themselves lesser than the enemy or the Israelis. So you see yourself as an Arab
That's
lesser
really
than
fucking
the
profound,
Israeli.
dude. Yeah. What happens when people start speculating about the fucking cock and ball, the meat and two veg of the person they're arguing with? What happens when you're in an argument as a, I don't know, maybe you tell me as a real man, what happens when you're in an argument with someone and you just start fucking going off on a schizo screed about where their fucking general and two colonels has been? Like, what's that about?
No, the point is like, because as a collaborator, you're mixed up. I know, like, you feel lesser than the Israelis. As an Arab, you feel lesser than the Israelis.
Bro,
but that's what
I would
happens,
never feel lesser than Israelis. Holy shit. Have you met them? Israelis are fucking mental. What are you talking about?
No, like, collaborators are mental. Have you heard Musab Hassan, man? Like, you're like him, no? Like, but not as bad as him, but like a little bit as bad as him, though. Like, because he he hates his father and he had him arrested and stuff like that's pretty fucked up as a family member, if I can tell you that, man. Like, but you're closer to that too. But I'm just saying, man, listen, try to get with a Lebanese woman or try to get with a woman at least, real woman, not a tranny. And then maybe you can get your head fixed up and and listen, man,
are you like, why again, not for the first time, do you realize who introduced girl dick into this conversation? It was you. I wasn't thinking about girl dick until you brought it up. Why? Why are you so obsessed with fucking girl dick? It's not the first time you've spoken about this to me. Is it one of those things where do you know how common it is for right-wing commentators like conservatards, people like you, to bitch about trans people? Do you know how common it is for people to bitch about trans people and to say that it's that they're not real women and shit, and then you go into their fucking porn history and it's just all the trans porn that you could ever is that you? Conservative pundits quite often get caught with trans porn on their computers.
I'm a lefty, my guy. I'm a lefty. I
do wonder why they think so much about it though. Why are trans folks so obsessed with trans dicks?
I'm a lefty. You're the conservative.
Yeah, the lefty Ottoman revivalist. I know it's a good trend these days.
I'm not Ottoman revivalist. I'm not trying to revive the Ottoman Empire. I'm just telling you how the
Muslims. Just tell me how based it was.
Other people. Huh?
You're just telling me how based it was. Anyway, I'm just wondering why how often a day do you think about trans girls' knobs? What?
No, I'm just trying to help you out, man, because I know you feel lesser than the Israelis, and I know that's one of the reasons as well, because you haven't been with a real woman before.
Even with the inferiority complex, you're the one bringing up inferiority complexes. I haven't spoken about
you're
that.
a collaborator. Listen, I cannot see how you can go over there and then the people that bomb your people and then also call death to Arabs and then you suck up to them, man. That's pathetic, bro.
Yeah, and I've also been to Lebanon and I've also got relatives and I've spoken to Lebanese people who celebrate winners.
Destiny, my guy, getting fucked by destiny.
You don't know any of the details about my personal life. I don't know why. How can you obsess over me this much and not know fucking anything? Is it cucking? Is it cucking if someone that you're seeing has slept with someone else that you know 5 years before you even met? How is that cucking? What the fuck?
Your personal life. Bad Empanada told me that you were cucked by destiny. Bad Empanada told me.
Bad Empanada told you. Yes. Yeah, he's a reliable source, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Why is he thinking about my personal life?
Because that's what happens with what do you call propagandists and people
I mean, it's what happens when freaks on the internet take a special interest in you because they don't have that much going for themselves. What's your story these days? What do you do in your day to day? What happens when you're not thinking about where my
I'm not thinking about that kind of stuff. Listen, when I just talked about you right now, and I just try to tell you.
Yeah, but what do you do when you're not doing that? Because you're clearly not reading about the conflict or about history or anything like that. You know fucking shit about Iraq. You didn't know about the bombings. You don't know about the Ottoman treatment. You didn't know about the famine in Lebanon with the Christians. You didn't really seem to know about what the Ottoman Empire did to the Greeks or the Assyrians. You don't know fucking anything, even about your area of interest. I'm just wondering what you do with your day. You're not reading. You're not learning things. What do? You watch some YouTube videos.
I'm reading actually on killing right now. I'm reading on killing right now. Is about the psychology of killing and warfare. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, great.
It's an interesting book.
What do you do when you're not reading? Because clearly you're not taking anything in.
I'm getting pussy. LonerBox. You should try get some pussy too. I got some Israeli pussy too one time. Yeah.
Great. I'm happy for you, I guess. So what you spent okay, what else do you do?
I play video games. I make money. That's what I do, man.
What do you make money doing?
Don't worry about how I make money, my guy. Don't worry about it, man. I just make money. I take care of cats. I help dogs sometimes as well. I help animals. I take care of animals. So that's what I do as well, Yeah. And I do some fundraising from time to time. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You came to Scottish universities and warned people about me, didn't you?
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
Why would Loner
still haven't had any Scottish encounters yet, so I guess it's just pretty unsuccessful.
Prometheus?
Well, just what do you call it? Just a couple of universities, and we probably don't meet those people too. So there's not that many protesters when I was there, anyways. So the encampments. But anyway, listen, I'm just telling people about you. I'm warning about you. I'm giving you advice right now, man. I'm giving you advice right now. Because I feel
your
sorry
advice
for
to me is to
people.
Try and fuck a Lebanese person, to seek out someone specifically who's Lebanese.
No, it could be any woman, my guy. I'm just saying, what do you call it? I'm just saying, get with a real woman.
So I need to.
Stop being cocky.
So I need to fuck a cis woman. Like,
as a real woman, I would say a real woman.
okay.
Yeah.
Do I?
And
How
so,
many? Like,
and I'm telling you that you are equal as the Israelis, and you have pride in yourself. Don't debase yourself because you're an Arab, and to the white man or to the Israeli people. You know, like you are equal. So don't debase yourself and don't sell yourself
how many?
out short,
Like,
man.
I'm just okay.
Because I know, collaborators are so confused inside. Like that's what I'm saying. I know it's like being a collaborator that you're so confused.
You're the one who's
inside,
confused. Wait, why do you? For example, you asked me last time if I'd slept with a trans woman, right? And I said yes at some point.
Yeah.
Why did you think that means I've? I don't even know why I'm litigating my fucking personal life with you.
If anybody has been touched by that, I would think like they haven't been with a real woman before.
Yeah, again, that's why I keep saying these like jabs about the cock. It would be a lot more effective if you had any fucking idea what the story was, but you don't. So it doesn't really. It's like me telling you, like, oh yeah, remember that time when Jesus Christ. It's like me saying, oh yeah, remember that time when you just got like fucking gangbanged by like 20 fucking dudes. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really work if I say that if it didn't happen, right? You understand that?
No, I did not.
I don't know. Bada Panada
like
told me. He
friends,
told me because I watched one of his videos and he, he was like dribbling into the microphone about how this Kilimanjaro guy actually like gets gangbanged all the time, and then he cries about it and lashes himself afterwards because he's like homophobic. It's a true story. Someone told me.
Okay, someone told you that, but no, that's not true though. But like you told me, like you've been with you like tranny girls. So like I just tell you, like be with a real woman, man, and don't go to what they call
I like all kinds of women. What's wrong with that? Like,
this is like that's not a real woman, man. Like, you're debasing yourself as well.
Are you a homophobe? I thought you were a leftist. Even if you think they're not women, are you a homophobe?
Listen, leftism, like in the East and like what is going on in the West is not the same thing. Leftism has been captured and co-opted by the corporations and by CIA and other stuff like that.
So what's wrong with what's wrong with like gays? What's wrong with that?
Like, listen, this is not the conversation about gays right now, right?
Well, I'm just you're the one who brought up trans women. So yes, you're actually the reason we're talking about sexuality right now. Yes, that was your decision. The only person who brought up sex in this conversation was you, my friend. You horny little fucking goblin. You coomer. You gooner. You goon brain. So you fucking human cubsock. What's wrong with being gay? What's wrong with the gays?
I brought it. Well, the gays, I don't think, what do you call it? They're man enough to basically understand politics and to give advice to people.
You don't think gays are man enough to understand politics and to give advice?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You realize that like gay sex is more straight than fucking women, right? There's double male there. There's like double the testosterone. It's like testosterone squared. Whereas you are out there being like, oh, you're out there fucking shitting yourself if there's like a bit of fucking hair on a woman's fanny.
Right now. I don't want to hear
look at this.
You're
so insecure. You're such a beta male. Why? Look, you can't even handle me talking. You can't even handle me describing gay sex to you, and you're like squirming. You're so insecure. What's wrong with that? Like, why are you such a fucking fanny? Why are you a coward?
I don't describe to you straight sex, man. Don't describe to me gay sex.
No, you're happy to talk about trans girl dick to me. You're happy to talk about Destiny's knob to me. You're happy to talk about my sex life. But as soon as I bring up gay sex for like 2 seconds and just talk about how it's like really manly,
I'm not going to description though.
I'm just saying it's what testosterone and big fucking hairy sweaty dudes. What's sexual about that?
Oh my god,
that's just manly. That's just like double man. What are you talking about?
I'm leaving.
You're being very soft right now. It's okay.
Oh my god. I was gonna ask him how many times his like arranged marriages fell through.
Yeah, man. Some people can't take the heat, you know.
Jesus Christ. I wonder if his mother still like fucking changes his diapers.
Fucking hell.
My god. I was gonna ask you, I sent you some stuff, I think yesterday.
Yeah. I know I need to.
Yeah.
So my plan today is I'm going to read about the fucking aid stations, and then I need to do IAEA reports because I got the Iran debate tonight.
Okay, fine. That's fine. All right, that's all.
But what is it like? This is it the 3-part Hoover institution thing?
Yeah, it's like crazy cringe. It's
Okay.
like so nuts. Yeah. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just something else.
Okay. One day. Okay, one day. Oh, Perrin as well. That's also on the list. Okay.
Yeah. The parent one is like pretty insightful when it comes to the airstrikes. Because he actually explains like what they actually properly targeted and how it went down, kind of. So
Yeah, because I saw the NPR article about it going through each site and how I didn't know that Natanz had a big fucking underground bit like in the mountain near the site. I didn't know that.
I
But
think he mainly talks about Fordo in this one,
okay.
if I remember correctly. Yeah, about how you know, the ventilation shafts, right? And they actually, what they did is they targeted, there's like 3 like little holes. Those 3 holes aren't actually like the holes from the bomb. Those 3 holes are the ventilation shafts, and they precisely targeted with the mops the middle shaft. So those 3 holes are actually normal. Like those would be the holes of the ventilation shaft, but they targeted precisely the middle hole. So they threw like 6 mops down this middle hole, like all 6 of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's some precision targeting. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Also, the shit with the interceptors that I sent you. I was
Yes, the arrow, yeah.
I was losing my mind, like right before going to sleep. I was just like looking at this. It's like proper like rage bait for me. It's just like going to sleep fucking angry because we're like wasting so many fucking interceptors on like random bullshit that BB wants to do.
That's quite interesting.
But
I'll have a
yeah.
look at that. Huh.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright. See you.
Well, take care. Bye-bye. Bro, where did that guy actually just like he just left? He just ran away.